Well, I mean, both experiences were great individually. We've really built quite a family on the Guardians movies, and I love that cast so much. And then it was great to then work with see a lot of the old people, but also work with a new bunch of people on the Infinity War movies. I have so much respect for everyone that I worked with, and also for the people who put these casts together. I mean, it's Hollywood's kind of a strange place, and I gotta say I've really enjoyed all of the people that I've been able to meet and learn from. Yeah, I love Joe and Anthony. They're very different from my brother, but all directors are. And I also haven't known them since I was born, so that makes it a little different. But yeah, no, they're great. They and I like how they work off one another, and they're pretty unflappable. And I think that that's one area where they share with my brother, is that they're very calm, set presences, which can be hugely important in films like these. Well, now most of the stills that people see are from the first movie when I was wearing the green leotard. But in the subsequent films, I just wear a gray tracksuit, which is a lot more comfortable and less dorky looking than the leotard. So that's a little bit better. But yeah, no, I'm 4 movies now into doing rocket on set, and I think sometimes I forget when actors show up for the first time who've never actually seen me do it. They get a little freaked out by like, whoa, that guy's really just getting down and walking on his, in a crouch position.
Is it method acting then, would you call it?
I don't root around and eat trash like raccoons do, but yeah, I did have to dig on some of my drama school training of being an animal, getting down and being an animal. Oh God, I just want to do one movie without Rooker.
Is that why you separate on the panel now?
Yeah, right. I love Rooker. He's like a crazy uncle, and I knew him. We were friends before we even did Super. So, I've done now. I guess we've done 4 movies together. So. Gosh, I hope it's coming along well. We need Craiglin to learn how to use that whistle, don't we?
We do.
If I'm going to have any sort of an imprint on the 3rd movie, I think he better learn. Yeah, we've talked a little bit about, he tells me he gives me some hints here and there about what the plot will be like for the 3rd movie. I haven't seen any words or seen any script, but he sort of will sit me down and say, it's kind of going this direction, and he's such a diligent planner that usually the way he says things are going to work out, they usually are pretty close to going that direction. So I don't know, I never get my hopes up. It's Hollywood. You're really not in the movie until the movie's finished, which is a long ways from now. And I care more about the story than about the characters, so I just want the movie to be great, but anything that they ask me to do, I'll be ready to do, for sure. The scenes where I have to play both characters, and there are a few of them, particularly in the 2nd movie, I think there's about 4 scenes where both characters have dialogue, and it is definitely the trickiest thing I've had to do in my career. I really just have to kind of tackle the scene from both angles, and then when we're on set, try to maintain my focus. I think good acting, a large percentage of any good acting is preparation and focus. So on those days when I'm doing both, I just need to be doubly prepared and as focused as I can be. and try to do the scene from both points of view. But also, it's always a little bit easier because I know if I screw up as Rocket, they can fix it. So. James doesn't let anyone choose any songs on the soundtrack. I think he takes, it's funny, he uses a lot of songs that I've loved my whole life as well as him. My brothers and I are really, really into music. And I'm never surprised by his selections. He's never used a song that I don't know. But I also think he takes a lot of pride in being able to say that he personally handpicks all the songs with no help from anyone. So I'll let him have that. Well, what I like about the third movie is that, I don't, this is speculation, I don't know this from James, but it seems to be set up that the soundtrack would come from Yondu's Zune in the third movie. I mean, that might be a guess, but so it'd be interesting to see what Yondu listens to. I'd love to hear something like Jukebox Hero. I think would be fun. Now that I said that, it won't be in the movie. Well, I like that outtake that's in the from the second movie at the end when I'm going over the bands when Star-Lord and Kraglin are talking about the bands on the Zune and Kraglin mentions Thin Lizzy and that chick Alice Cooper and that's certainly a lot of fun. We're pretty lucky though. I mean, there's been very little that's been cut from the movie. I think I had one scene as Rocket from the first movie, and then some little bits and pieces of stuff with Kraglin from both movies. But for the most part, what we shoot goes in the film. We don't improv that much. I would say that most of the dialogue is performed as written in the script. Things that are improvised are more likely to be buttons at the end of scenes. So like just a joke line that it goes out on and something like, you have a little more room to play there. The bulk of the improvising is done by my brother from behind the camera. So I know that he has his script that he works with that we've seen, and then he also has his alternate line script that he has for every day, which are things that he's feeding us as we're acting. He'll say, do it again, now with this line, now with this line. But just like everything, even though they feel like ad-libs to us because we haven't heard them, he's super prepared and usually has a list of them ready to go. Not a whole lot is actually thought up right there on the spot. There are a few lines here and there, but most of it's scripted. Yeah, they definitely have fun, and I know that my brother will say to Chris at certain moments, here's an opportunity if you want to ad-lib something or throw something in, you can do it there, and they talk about it. But it's never pandemonium, it's never like everybody's saying whatever the hell they think is funny at the moment. We stick to the script for the most part and have fun, but it's controlled fun. Well, it certainly doesn't change my perspective of the end of the first film because I think that regardless of the mechanics of it or the biomechanics of it, the idea of Rocket preserving that piece from his friend packs some emotional weight, regardless of what exactly it is that we're looking at. I don't think that changes how special that moment is, and it certainly doesn't take away from the sacrifice. If anything, it enhances the sacrifice that Groot makes in the first movie. But I don't know. I didn't know much about Groot procreation myself, so I'm learning just like you guys are.
We're learning as James teaches us.
Yeah,
Does
right.
that mean Rocket is officially Groot's mother then?
Well,
Like a seahorse.
he's certainly his adopted guardian. I would say that. Certainly fun to to see many of these new characters through the eyes of Rocket, because Rocket does not have the same sort of reverence for the superheroes that the average Earthling is going to have. So I think there's a lot of fun there. It's just different. One of the reasons that I think my brother and I work so well together is that, yes, we've worked together since we were kids in different capacities. So our shorthand for communicating with one another is very clean and very easy. But also, I think we're both perfectionists within our own jobs, and he's very much. He's a very good director and a very clear director, and I take my job as an actor very, very seriously. And so I think that even if we were just meeting for the first time, I still think he and I would work together really, really well, because he's good at talking to actors, and I would like to think that I'm good at listening to directors. So it really is. I mean, I think that the advantage is that any time it's any period of time where I need to figure out how to work with somebody to have a creative relationship, that part of the job is already done. We already have a creative relationship. But and then the negative things he does. We're not very competitive in my family, and he's the older brother and I'm the younger brother, so I think that's good. And I love working with my brother. I hope that we continue to work together here and there for the rest of our careers. I would think that we would. I don't need to do everything he's in, and he's producing something right now I'm not going to do. So it's like I don't need to, like, we can go off and do our separate things, but yeah, I'll always say yes, obviously. I would love to work with those guys, I can tell you that. But I try not to, I try not to, prognosticate about what's going to go, about what's going to happen, because you're only setting yourself up for disappointment if you try to worry about where you want the story to go. You got to let it just kind of go where it goes. Gosh, I mean, I already worked with the Hoff on the Guardians Inferno video. I don't know how it gets better than that. Gosh, I gotta say, with everybody that I've worked with on these movies, not just Guardians, but now Infinity War, my cup runneth over with big, famous, iconic actors. So I'm happy with anybody, truly. That was really fun. That Guardians video. It was something that I think they threw together pretty quickly. But they saw the link for the original, for the weird Star Wars dance video that it was kind of based on. Just something we got together in a day, and had an absolute blast.
Did you get to choose which moustache to wear?
They had some ideas. We worked on it a little bit together, but I certainly was very, very pleased with how that worked out. I gotta play that character in a movie the whole time, I think. He's a lovely man. I just saw him at the Black Panther premiere, and it was good to catch up. He's such a gregarious, big personality, very warm dude. Well, people talk a lot about the fanboys and fangirls from the MCU and how rabid they are, but I assure you that Gilmore Girls fans give them a run for their money every step of the way in their fervor for what they love. I'm very grateful to be part of both those franchises, and I think it starts with like really great writing and great stories, and I've been very lucky to be part of this.
Okay, well, thank you then.